Next question, the member for Oshawa.
Thank you, Speaker. And my question is to the Premier. I was proud to stand recently with the Leader of the Official Opposition, the MPP for Hamilton West Ancaster Dundas, councillors from the Mississaugas of Scugog Island First Nation, Regional Councillor Dias, ENAP, and many community and environmental voices at Carruthers Marsh in Ajax. We were there to commit to protecting this vitally important area and to adding the Carruthers Creek Headwaters to Ontario's Greenbelt when the Ontario NDP formed government in 2022. The Carruthers Creek Headwaters are comprised of prime agricultural lands containing sensitive hydrological features, and it is completely surrounded by the Greenbelt. The watershed is vulnerable and invaluable, and we must protect it. The Ontario NDP is committed to protecting the Carruthers Creek Headwaters when we form government. However, Speaker, it needs to be protected now. Will this Premier commit to adding the Carruthers Creek Headwaters to the Greenbelt?
To reply, the Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing.
Well, thanks, Speaker. I want to thank the member for her question. As she knows, from February to April, our government launched a 61-day consultation to grow the Greenbelt, which could lead to its largest expansion since its inception in 2005. We made a commitment in both the 2020 and the 2021 budgets that we were committed to not just protecting but expanding the Greenbelt as one of our greatest treasures. We are still consulting in terms of urban river valleys and the Periscope Moraine. We'll continue to work with our partners on their advice as we move forward. Thank you for the question.
Supplementary question.
Thank you, and again to the Premier. Talk is cheap with this government. A 3-year-old PC party campaign promise made by the now MPP for Ajax and a recent and reactionary damage control Facebook post isn't good enough. The MPP for Ajax has been in cabinet for the last 3 years, with the exception of his short but infamous vacation, and yet he still said nothing about this until the NDP raised the issue. He was silent during his time as Environment Minister and was silent during the government's consultations on expanding the Greenbelt, which recently concluded with absolutely no commitment to adding the Carruthers Creek Headwaters to the Greenbelt. Clearly, if this government wanted to protect the Carruthers Creek Headwaters, it would have done so. The minister can knock on doors and say whatever he wants, but I can't imagine that that member speaks for the government. Is the MPP for Ajax again going rogue by making environmental commitments, or will this government make the right decision and add the Carruthers Creek Headwaters to the Greenbelt? Thank you.
And to reply, the Minister of the Environment, Conservation and Parks.
Thank you, Speaker, and thank you to the member for that question. Speaker, it's under our Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing that we've launched an expansion of the Greenbelt, as he said, potentially the largest expansion in Ontario's history. But, Speaker, we're not done there. We're not done there. Mr. Speaker, some of my first actions as Minister was to expand our green space in the province. We expanded Normandale Beach, adding it to Turkey Point Provincial Park. We expanded the Waterfront Trail, an important asset, as that member would know. And we would continue to encourage that member to engage her constituents and constituents throughout the Durham region on important investments that can be made, including a part of our Greenbelt consultations. Speaker, under the previous Minister of Environment, we launched Ontario's Made in Ontario Environment Plan, which has led to the largest freshwater cleanup of its kind, again important to the residents of Ajax and Durham. We're going to keep acting on the environment, keep expanding green spaces, and leading to historic reductions in greenhouse gas emissions. Speaker, we're going to keep doing that, and I'd encourage her to join us in that. Thank you very much.
That concludes our question period for this morning.